Welcome for the session Registers and Counters. Third unit of Digital Electronics, third semester Electronics and Communication Engineering. In previous sessions, we learned about asynchronous counters and their applications, construction and working, merits and demerits. In this session, I am going to present synchronous counters, merits and demerits of synchronous counters, 2-bit, 3-bit and 4-bit synchronous counters here. At the end of the session, you the students are going to learn construction and working of 2 and 3-bit and 4-bit asynchronous counters and merits and demerits also. Let us study one by one synchronous counter. Then what is the synchronous counter? In the synchronous counter, the same clock is applied to all the flip-flops simultaneously. We have studied in previous sessions in asynchronous counter, the output of the previous flip-flop is fed to the clock input to the succeeding flip-flops. Whereas in synchronous counter, the clock is applied to all the flip-flops in the counter simultaneously. But the output of the one flip-flop is fed to the input of the succeeding flip-flops in synchronous counter. Synchronous counters are faster than asynchronous counter because the clock is applied to simultaneously to all the flip-flops. So it is faster. All flip-flops involved in synchronous counter change their state at the same time. Whereas in asynchronous counter, the state will not change at the same time because it depends on the previous stage. Hardware required for the construction of synchronous counter is more than that required for the asynchronous counter. In asynchronous counter, do not require any external additional hardware to construct the counters, whereas in the synchronous counter, we need some additional hardware to construct synchronous counters. Let us study next. Synchronous counters merit. What are the merits of the synchronous counter? Fast operation because clock is applied simultaneously to all the flip-flops. No glitch problems because there is no propagation delay from flip-flop to flip-flop. What is the demerits? Requires more hardware for construction because synchronous counters requires additional hardware for its construction. Bit synchronous up counter. As that of the 2-bit asynchronous counter, it also counts from 0 to 3, from 00, 01, 10 and 11. It also requires the 2 flip-flops as that of the asynchronous counter. We can choose anyone among JK or T flip-flops. Now this is the circuit diagram of the 2-bit synchronous up counter. Let us study how does it work. So this is a construction. You can see the clock signal is applied simultaneously to all the flip-flops. The bubble indicates this is a falling edge flip-flop, whereas in the synchronous counter, clock is applied only to the first flip-flop. The second flip-flop clock is driven by the output of the previous flip-flop in asynchronous counter. In synchronous counter, clock is applied simultaneously to both the flip-flops here. You can see. Here, to make it as a JK flip-flop, to toggle, that has to be connected J and K input. J and K input both together I is equal to logic 1. The output of the first flip-flop is connected to the JK input of the next flip-flop here. Whereas in the synchronous counter, both J and K of all the flip-flops are tied together is equal to 1. Whereas here the case is different. The output of the previous flip-flop is connected to the JK input of the succeeding flip-flops here. That is the differences. Here clock applied simultaneously to both the flip-flops, and first flip-flop JK flip-flop is only connected to the logic level 1 and the next flip-flop is connected by the output of the previous flip-flops here. Now see the working of this one. Now how does this work? We have to see. This is the input 1. This is the QA output. This is the input 2. this is the output. This is the output. Before the application of the clock pulse, the input is always 1 because this is I. The input is always 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. For all the cases, the input is always 1 because it is always given to the binary 1. Before the application of the clock pulse, the output is 0. QA output is 0. When it is 0, the input to this flip-flop is also 0. Input 2 is also 0. Then naturally the output Q1 is also 0. This is a Q1, Q0. This is a Q0. This is a Q1. When first clock is applied, first clock pulse is applied, because of the input is 1, the JK flip-flop toggles. That means it changes its state, previous state. What is the previous state? It is a 0. What will be the output now? It is 1. What will the output? It is 1. Whereas the input to this flip-flop is 0 still. What is the output? 0. Because there is no change when inputs are 0. The output changes the JK flip-flop only when both the inputs are 1. So, no 0. After the first clock pulse, the output of the first flip-flop is 1 and the next second flip-flop is 0. Then when it is 1, the same input is applied here now. Same input is applied here now. This 1 will come to the input here now. 1. Now for the second flip-flop, what is the input now? It is 1. When the second clock pulse is applied simultaneously to the both the flip-flop. When second clock is applied to simultaneously to the both the flip-flop. Now, because it is always 1, it changes its states. What is it 1? It is 1. It is going to be 0. It is going to be 0 now. What is the input to the second flip-flop? 1. When it is 1, it is also changes its state. What is the previous state? 0. Now it becomes 1. Now it becomes 1. After the second clock pulse, the output of the first flip-flop is 0, second flip-flop is 1. Then before applying the third flip-flop, what is the input to this second flip-flop? Now it is what is there? It is 0. The 0 will be transferred here. That is 0. 0 will be applied here. Now this 0 will be applied here. 0 will be applied here. Then when apply this third clock pulse, again the first flip-flop it changes its state. It goes to the 0 to 1. When it goes to the 0 to 1, what is the input to the second flip-flop? 0. When it is 0, there is no change in the state. What is the previous state? 1. That will be retained. That will be retained. The output changes only when both the inputs are 1. Otherwise, it retains the previous state. Then when after the third clock pulse, the output of the first flip-flop is 1. The second flip-flop is also 1. Then next, the output of the first flip-flop is applied to the input to the second flip-flop in the before the fourth clock pulse. Now it becomes input here. That is 1. It becomes 1 to the second flip-flop. When fourth clock pulse is applied, again it changes state. 1 becomes 0. What is the input to this second flip-flop? 1. Again it changes the state. What is the previous state? 1. That becomes 0. That becomes 0 here. Now we summarize the output after the fourth clock pulse. What is happening here? Okay, that is 0, 0. That is 0, 0. That is 1, 0. That is 1, 0. That is second flip-flop what? That is 0, 1, 0, 1. When third clock pulse, 1, 1. That is 1, 1. When the fourth clock is applied, 0, 0. That is 0, 0. That repeats. Acts as a 2-bit synchronous up counter. Synchronous means the clock pulse is applied simultaneously to all the flip-flops involved in the counter. Okay. Now you look at the waveform timing diagram here. See, this is a negative edge flip-flop. Negative edge triggering. It changes the output for every falling edge of the clock pulse. Falling edge of the clock pulse. So the Q0 changes whenever it goes from 1 to 0. It goes to the 0 to 1. Again, when it goes to the 1 to 0, it changes its states from 1 to 0. Again, 1 to 0, it goes to the 0 to 1. Again, it goes to the 1 to 0. It is also changes from negative edge also, because it also changes negative edge. Then it goes to, when it goes to the 1 to 0, again it goes to the 0 to 1. Again it goes to the 1 to 0, again it goes to the 1 to 0. Okay, in this fashion, the 2-bit synchronous up counter works here. Now let us study 3-bit synchronous up counter. How does it works? That you have to see. Now see, we have constructed 2 bits synchronous up counter. In the same way, here also we constructed 3-bit synchronous up counter by adding another 1 flip-flop. Instead of taking the JK flip-flop, here I have taken the T flip-flop here. So yesterday in the previous classes I said the connecting J and K inputs tied together make it as a T flip-flop. Does that make it? It is also a active low clock signals. It also works on the active low clock signals. That means it responds during the falling edge of the clock or negative edge triggering, generally call it as. Here the clock pulse is applied simultaneously to all the flip-flops at the same time. Okay, all the flip-flops at the same time. The output of the first flip-flop is connected to the input of the next. The output of the second is connected to the input of the third flip-flop. The output taken from the all the flip-flops here. Output from the all the flip-flops here. The first flip-flop must be always tied to high. It becomes a always high here. That you can see. Then how does it works? We have to see. Now this is the input. This is the output of the first flip-flop. This is the input of the second flip-flop. This is the output of the third flip-flop. This is the input of the third flip-flop. This is the output of the third. That we can see. Before the applications of the clock pulse, its input is 1, the output is 0, the next output is input is 0, so 0, the output is also 0, input 0, output 0. For all the 3 flip-flops, it is a reset to the 0, because the first one input is always high because it is tied to the binary 1. When first clock pulse is applied, the clock pulse is simultaneously applying to all the flip-flops. But all the flip-flops changes their states only when the input is 1. For the first flip-flop only the input is 1. It changes the states from 0 to 1. The input to the first flip-flop is 0. Second flip-flop is 0. The output is 0. Third input is also 0. The output is 0. When the second clock pulse is applied, before the applications of the second clock pulse, the output of the first flip-flop is going to be input to the second. The output of the second is the input to the third. Then what is the output of the first one? That is 1. It becomes the input to the second. The output of the second becomes the input to the third. Now, when this second clock pulse is applied, it changes the states from 1 to 0. Then what is the input here? Second clock pulse 1. Automatically it changes the states from 0 to 1. What is the input to the third flip-flop? 0. There is no change in the state. Then after end of the second clock pulse, the output is 0, 1, 0. Then after the end of the second clock pulse, then the output of the first one will become the input to the second. The output of the second becomes the input to the third, because that will be transferred here. This will be transferred here. Then what happens when third clock is applied? Automatically, because of the input is always 1, it toggles from 0 to 1. Here it is 0. There is no change. That means it retains the previous clock. That is previous output, that is 1 will be transferred here. Here it is a 1. Again, it changes the states from 0 to 1. Now comparing with the truth table, whether we are getting the correct output or not. Now it is 0, 0, 0. Okay, that is 0, 0, 0. Next, 1 0 0 1 0 0. Next third one 0 1 0 0 1 0. Next that is 1 1 1, that is 1 1 1. So we get the wrong output. Here it changes. It should not change here. So this flip-flop is wrong. It is not working as we expected. It is not counting from 0 to and progress up to 7 here. So this flip-flop is wrong. In asynchronous counter, it is very simple. This output is given to the clock input to the next. The output of the next is given to the clock input to the subsequent. But whereas here construction is little different here. See, just giving the output to the output of the one is input to the next, output of the second is input to the third, will not work here. So we are not getting the wrong outputs here. So we must get what? 1 1 1. What we must get? 1 1 0. So this flip-flop is not working here. That is the problem with this flip-flop, a synchronous counter. So we have to modify this circuit to make it as a 3-bit synchronous up counter and works neatly here. How to make it here? Then how to make it here? We have to reconstruct the circuit. We have to reconstruct the circuit. The modified circuit you can see here. I added here one AND gate here in between the output of the first and the output of the second. This is given to the AND gate and it becomes input to the third. Now let us check how does it solve the problem of that one after the third clock pulse. What is the problem of the third clock pulse? That we have to check here. Now whether it is working neatly or not. Okay, let us start from the beginning. Yes, this is the input. This is the first output. This is this. Now let us solve the problem of the after the third clock pulse. Okay, problem happens only after the third clock pulse. Now I have modified the circuit. I have added one AND gate between the output of the first flip-flop and the output of the second flip-flop is connected to the AND gate, and the output of the AND gate is given to the input to the third flip-flops. Now check how does it solves the problem of the getting the instead of getting the 0 1 1 we were getting 1 1 1. Whether does it solve the problem or not, check. We have to work from the start from the beginning. This is the input of the first one. This is the output of the first flip-flop. This is input to the second flip-flop. This is output to the third, second. Then this is input to the third, and this is the output here. In the before application of the clock pulse, the flip-flop is reset. Then all the outputs of the flip-flops are 0. And also the inputs of the second and third flip-flop is 0. Because the first flip-flop is always 1, it is always given to the input. Inputs here. When the first clock pulse is applied, when first clock pulse is applied, because of the input is 1, it toggles. It goes to the 0 to 1. The input to the second flip-flop is 0, there is no change. The third flip-flop is also 0, there is no change here. At the end of the first clock cycle, it becomes 1 0 0. Then after the end of the first clock cycle, the output of the first flip-flop is going to be input to the second. The output of the second is output of the second, and output of the first is going to the input of the third. Then what is the output of the first and second? It is 0 and also 0. That is 0 and 0. Is 0 means no, it's 1 and it is 0. That is 1 and 0. It becomes a 0 here. Then output is also a 0 here. When second clock pulse is applied, the output of the first will become the input of the second. the input to the third will become the product of, that is AND of output 1 and output 2, that is 1 into 0, that becomes 0 here. That becomes 0 because AND gate is connected here. So when second clock pulse is applied, automatically the first one is always toggles, it becomes 1 to 0. The second one, the input is 1, so it also changes the state. Previous is 0, again it goes to the 0 to 1. What is the third one? The input is 0, there is no change, that becomes 0. There is no change, that becomes 0. At the end of the second clock pulse, the output of the first one is 0, second one is 1, third one is 0. Then the outputs of the end of the second clock pulse will become an input to the before the third clock pulse. Now we have to evaluate what is the input to the third clock before the third clock pulse. Then this 0 is transferred here. For the third input, third flip flop, the product of the first two, that is AND of the first two, that is 0 into 1, that becomes 0. Now when apply the third clock pulse, automatically it changes the state 0 to 1, it goes to the 0 to 1. Because the first flip flop is always toggling from 0 to 1, 1 to 0, because it is always tied to the 1. What is the second flip flop? The output of second flip flop is remain same because the input is 0. When the input is 0, it retains the previous state. What is the previous state here? Previous state is 1, now it becomes a 1. Then what is the output of the third flip flop? The input is 0, the output is also a 0. Now check whether you are getting the correct output or not. So now it becomes 1, that is 1, here is also 1, here is also 1, here is 0, here is 0. So this circuit solves the problem of getting the 0, 1, 1, where earlier that construction we are getting the, that is 1, 1, 1. We were getting the wrong result, now we are getting the correct one. Again proceed further, what will happen next clock cycle. At the end of the third clock pulse, we are getting 0, 1, 1, that is 3, decimal 3. Then after the end of the third clock cycle, the output of the first one become input to the second, the output of the first and second will become the input to the third. Now what will happen? The output of the first, the one becomes input to the second. For the third flip flop, it becomes a product of 2, that is 1 into 1 will become 1 now. Will become 1 now. Input to the third flip flop. Now we evaluate after the third application of the fourth clock pulse. Now again it changes to 0 to 1, 1 to 0, always stays toggles. Now what will happen here? The input is 1. When input is 1, automatically it changes the state by second flip flop. Now it becomes 1 to 0. Again here the input is 1, again it has to change the state from 0 to 1. When the input is 1, it changes the state. Now what will happen? 0, 0, 1. Again we are getting 0, 0, 1. Yes, you are getting the correct one. At the end of the fourth clock cycle, we are getting the decimal 4 in the binary value, we are getting correct. Then after the end of the fourth clock cycle, the output of the first one will become the input to the second, the product of the first and second, that is the AND of the first and second will become the input to the third one. That is we have to evaluate. The 0 becomes input to the second, the product of this one 0 into 0 will become 0 to the third. Then apply the fifth clock cycle, again it changes to 0 to 1. Because of the 0, there is no change in the output, again 0 to 0. Here it is a 0, it won't change the output, it retains the previous value, now it is 1. Now it is 1. At the end of the fifth clock cycle, then you are getting 1, 0, 1, that is 1, 0, 1. We are getting 1, 0, 1. So it is also correct. Now after the end of the fifth clock cycle, the output of the first one will become the input to the second, the output of the first and second, the AND of the first and second will become the input to the third. Now we have to evaluate here. The output of the first will become input to the second, the product of this one 1 into 0, that is 0 to the third. After the application of the sixth clock pulse, again it changes the state from 1 to 0. Because it is a 1, for the second flip flop, again it has to change the state. Now it was 0 earlier, now it is going to be 1. Here is also 0 for the third flip flop, there is no change, it retains its state, previous state here. At the end of the 6th clock pulse, now it becomes what? That is 0, 1, 1. That is 0, 1, 1. Don't confusion with this one. Your flip-flop is connected from left to right. I have written the table from right to left. Okay, it is a convention that we generally use in all the digital electronics, because you have to write the truth table to make it as a convenient here. After the end of the 6th clock pulse, we are getting the correct result. Then output of the first one becomes input. Again, the product of or AND of these two will become the input to the third one. That you have to evaluate. That 0 will give over here. That is product of these two. 1 into 0. That becomes 0 here. That is 1 and 0. You have to multiply these two and becomes the input to the third. Multiply means it is AND only, logically AND here. Now at the end of the 7th clock pulse, when applied here, then again it changes the state from 0 to 1. Because of the 0 here, there is no change, it becomes 1 to 1. Because of the 0 here, there is no change, it becomes a 1 to 1. There is a 1 to 1 transition. That means there is no change here. It changes output only when input is 1. So now we have to evaluate, that is 1, 1, 1. Now we are getting the 1, 1, 1. After the end of the 7th clock pulse, we are getting the 1, 1, 1. Then after the end of the clock pulse, then output will becomes input to the again same. Then the 1 will comes to the second input, and the product of these two, 1 into 1, that means 1 and 1 is nothing but a 1. When 8th clock pulse is applied, again it changes the states from 1 to 0. It because of it is a input is 1, it changes the states from 1 to 0. Again because of it is a 1, it changes the states from 1 to 0. Now we are getting 0, 0, 0. We are getting here 0, 0, 0. So we are getting the 0, 0, 0. When 8th clock pulse is applied, you are returning back from its starting point. Returning back its starting point. So this counter progress from 0 to 7 and returning to the starting points. That is a 001 means decimal 0, 001 means decimal 1, 010 means 2, it is 3, it is 4, it is 5, it is 6, it is 7, again it becomes 0 here. In this fashion, this is 3-bit synchronous up counter works, whereas in the previous circuit that do not work as expected, so you have to modify the circuit using additional gate here. That is the required in synchronous up counter. That's why what we said, the synchronous counter is always requires some additional circuitry to make it operational here. Now let us move to the 3-bit synchronous down counter. We have studied 3-bit synchronous up counter. In the same way, we can study the 3-bit synchronous down counter. Synchronous up counter, it counts from 0 to 7. Down counter, it counts from 7 to 0. That is only the difference. The construction of the circuit is also a little bit different, that you can see. Here I have modified that circuit 3-bit synchronous up counter to work as a 3-bit synchronous down counter. Here the output of the NAND gate input is connected to the output of the second flip-flop earlier. Now I have connected from the Q bar. Now I connect from the Q bar. In the up counter, we connected from the Q. In the down counter, we are connected from the Q bar here. That is the changes here. That is one of the changes or modifications that you done. The clock is as usual applied simultaneously to the all the flip-flops. Simultaneously to the all the flip-flops. As usual, the first flip-flop is connected to the I because it is always toggling from every clock cycle. Earlier it was T flip-flop, now it is JK flip-flop. Either you can take JK or T flip-flop, doesn't make any difference here. So it is only connected, the connection difference is only earlier for up counter we are connected input to the AND gate is from Q, now it is connected from Q bar. Again as usual the output is taken from the Q0, Q1, Q2 as usual. The only difference is the input to the AND gate is Q bar of the first one and Q bar of the second one that we are connected here. See how does it works as a down counter here. That is the input to the first one as usual, the output of the first one, that is the input to the second one, output from the second, we have taken from the Q bar output. Okay, we have taken from the Q bar output, input as usual, output here Q bar, the input as usual, output is taken from the Q bar, the output is taken from the Q bar. So you have to evaluate the Q bar outputs. Automatically the Q0, Q1, Q2 will be opposite to that one, because in the flip-flop Q1, Q bar are complementary. When Q is equal to 0, that is automatically Q bar is equal to 1. When Q bar is equal to 0, then Q becomes 1. Okay, it is always in opposite states. That you have to evaluate here. Before the application of the clock pulse, the flip-flop are set to 1. The flip-flop are set to 1. That is set input. Here. It is connected to the 1. So all the flip-flop are set to 1. That is Q0, Q1, Q2 becomes 1. That is Q0, Q1, Q2 becomes 1. Q0, Q1, Q2 becomes 1. When it is set here. So when the Q0, Q1, Q2 becomes 1, automatically Q0 bar, Q1 bar and Q2 bar becomes 0. So that is 0, 0, 0. What is that one? It is Q0 bar, Q1 bar and it is Q2 bar becomes 0. Then the first clock pulse is applied to this flip-flop. Automatically the first flip-flop changes its states from 0 to 1. That means Q bar is changing from 0 to 1, whereas Q0 it changes from 1 to 0, because it is opposite one. Q bar and Q is always complementary each other. When the Q0 bar is changing from 0 to 1, that means Q is going from 1 to 0. That is 1 to 0 here. You can see here. And input to the second one is 0, there is no change. Third one is 0, there is no change. That means when the output of the Q1 bar and Q2 bar is equal to 0, 0, that means the Q1, Q2 will becomes 1 mark. Then after the end of the first clock cycle, we have to evaluate what is the input to this second flip-flop and third flip-flop. The input to this second flip-flop will become the output of the first one. That is it becomes 1. Then for the second flip-flop, it becomes the AND of the first and second output. That is AND of the first and 1 into 0, it becomes 0. 1 into 0 becomes 0 here. When the second clock pulse is applied, again it toggles from 1 to 0. When it is input is 1 for the second flip-flop, that is Q1 bar, again it changes the states from 0 to 1. Here it is input is 0 to the third flip-flop, again there is no change. Then the Q0, Q1, Q2 bar is again opposite to that one. What is that one here? 0, 1, 0. That means 1, 0, 1. That means 1, 0, 1. At the end of the second clock cycle, the output is that we are getting, that becomes input to the subsequent flip-flops. Then that we have to evaluate. 0 to the second flip-flop, product of this one 0 and 1 will become say input to the third flip-flop. 1 into 0, that means 0 to the third flip-flop. When the third clock cycle is applied, again it changes the state from 0 to 1. The second input to the second input flip-flop, it becomes 0. Then there is no change in the output, that is 1 to 1 transition. There is no change. Here the input to the third is also 0. There is no change in the state. Now it is 1, 1, 0. That means it is opposite. The Q0 is opposite to that one. That becomes 0, 0, 1. That is 0, 0, 1. That is correct. At the end of the third clock cycle, it evaluates the output. and passes through the subsequent flip-flops. Then what is the input to the second and third flip-flop that you have to evaluate? What is that one here? 1, it is a 1, and product of these two, that is 1 and 1. Now it becomes a 1. For the input to the third flip-flop is now it becomes 1 here. Then when the fourth clock pulse is applied, again it changes state from 1 to 0. Q bar, I am evaluating the Q bar, 1 to 0. Then input is 1, again it changes state from 1 to 0. Now it becomes 0. Here the input to the third flip-flop is 1, again it has to change the state. Previous state is equal to 0, now it becomes 1. What you are getting at the end of the fourth clock pulse? Now it becomes 0, 0, 1. That means it should be 1, 1, 0. Opposite to that one, that is 1, 1, 0. That is correct. Okay, after the end of the fourth clock pulse, the output is evaluated and passing through the input to the subsequent. Now we have to evaluate, that is a 0 to the second flip-flop. The output is given to the input to, that becomes 0. You will give it to the 0 to the second flip-flop. Then for the input to the third one, it becomes the end of the first two outputs here. What is that one here? To become input, that is a 0 and also 0, it becomes 0 only. It becomes 0 only here. When the fifth clock cycle is applied, again it complements, it goes to the 0 to 1. Here 0 is there is no changes here. Previous state is 0, this state is also 0. The previous, it is 0, input to the third flip-flop is 0, it retains the previous state because there is no change in the previous state. Now it becomes 1 only. Then what you are getting? 1, 0, 1. That means opposite to that one. 1 means 0, 0 means 1, 1 means 0. That means 0, 1, 0. That means 0, 1, 0. Because you are evaluating the Q bar, the output is always opposite to that one, that is Q naught. Okay, Q bar and Q bar. At the end of the fifth clock cycle, now we have to evaluate the output transfer to the input. It becomes 1, and this becomes the product of these two output, 0 and 1. 0 into 1 is 0 only. When sixth clock pulse is applied, again it changes the states from 1 to 0. It changes the states from 1 to 0. Then 0. For the second flip-flop, the 1 is the input. For the second flip-flop, 1 is the input. Now it changes the state from 0 to 1. Here is 0 for third input. There is no change, 1 to 1 transition. Now what we are getting? 0, 1, 1. It must be opposite to that one. That is 1, 0, 0. That must be 1, 0, 0. At the end of the sixth clock pulse, again output becomes input to the succeeding flip-flops. Now it becomes 0. Then it becomes 1 into 0. It becomes 0. When clock pulse is applied, then it again changes the state from 0 to 1. Here it is 0. There is no change in the transition. Here it is 0. There is no change in the transition. What you are getting? That is 1, 1. Okay, 1. That means opposite to that one. That is, it should be 0, it should be 0, it should be 0. So you are getting 0, 0, 0. So it reaches to the 0. At the end of the seventh clock pulse, you are reaching to the 0. That becomes, it is a 7, it is a 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. What happens after the eighth clock pulse? When apply the eighth clock pulse, that we see then we have to evaluate the output. The 1 is transferred here. Then input is equal to 1 into 1 will become say 1 here. When the eighth clock pulse is applied, again it changes the state from what? 0 to 1. Sorry. Is 1 means 0, 0, okay, 0 to 1. Then there is no change here, okay, 1 to 1. Again there is no change here, that is 1 to 1. See, because it is input is 1, it changes state from 1 to 0. Now we are getting 1, 1, 1 again. Again it repeats the sequences here after the when applying the 8 clock pulse. In this fashion 3-bit synchronous down counter works. It is only the difference is we have to connect, instead of the Q output we have to connect to the Q bar output to the AND gates here. Now let us study the 4-bit up counter here. In the 4-bit up counter, it counts from 0 to 15, that is 0 0 0 0 to 1 1 1 1. Okay, same as that of the asynchronous counter. In synchronous counter also it counts from 0 to 15 and needs 4 flip-flop. We can also choose JK or T flip-flop, but additional circuitry is required as that of the 3-bit synchronous counter. Then let us see the circuit diagram. Here the circuit diagram is almost same as that of the 3-bit synchronous counter. One additional stage is added here. One additional stage is added here. Then let us see how does that work here. Up to here. The same as that of the 3-bit synchronous counter here. To make it as a 4-bit synchronous counter, another AND gate is AND gate 1. Here AND gate 1 and AND gate 2 is used here. Another AND gate is added here. Then up to this function, up to this level, up to the clock number 8, up to the clock number 8, it is remain same. It is remain same up to clock 8. That means we need to count from 1 1 1. 3-bit counter counts up to clock 7. That is 1 1 1 remains same here. Function is remains same here. Then when it goes to the 8th clock cycle, the first 3 flip-flop will become 0 0 0. So the 4th one will becomes 1. That is we are getting the decimal 8. That is 0 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 10 11 12 13 14 15 again 0 0. Again it is 0 0 that you are getting here. There is only the difference, and working of the 4-bit synchronous counter is same as that of the 3-bit synchronous counter, except the one stage additional stage is added and one gate is added. So further you can study your own. There is no need of any much more explanation. Now let us see some multiple choice questions. Here, how many natural states will there be in a 4-bit counter? That is 4, 8, 16, 32. As we know that 4-bit counter counts up to 2 power 16, 2 power n times, that is 16 states. Answer is 16. The high-speed counter is ring counter, ripple counter, synchronous counter, asynchronous counter. Say ring counter, ripple counter, asynchronous counter are asynchronous counters. Whereas the synchronous counter, we apply the clock simultaneously to all the flip-flops. So naturally, synchronous counter is the faster one. So that is answer is C. Next question. On which factor does the clock pulse frequency of a counter depends for its reliable operation? Yavevala parameter. Which are the parameters that depends on the reliable operation? Number of flip-flops, width of the strobe pulse, propagation delay. Number of flip-flops, definitely it is a matter. When the number of flip-flops increases, delay is also increases. Width of the strobe pulse, that means the width of the pulse, the clock frequency. Width of the clock frequency is also important. The propagation delay, the transition delay from the one flip-flop to another flip-flop is also important. All are important. So answer is all the above. Next question. Normally the synchronous counter is designed to using, naturally as I told you, the synchronous counter is or asynchronous counters will be designed using the JK flip-flop because it eliminates the race around condition. Sometimes we also prefer the T flip-flop over the JK flip-flop. Most of the times the counters are designed using the JK flip-flop here. Next, descriptive type questions. These are the possible questions that you may get in examinations. working of the 3-bit synchronous up counter, down counter, working of the 4-bit synchronous up counter, down counter, list the merits and demerits of the synchronous up counter. These are the probable questions that you may get in the examination here. Okay, these are the references you can go through for your further study. Okay, this is the digital electronics team who have been contributing to develop this content. Okay, thank you.